Hi, I'm Scott Tucker, founder of US Vet Wealth. And in this video, I want to take a couple minutes and tell you a little bit about how we got started and what is our philosophy of success. Why are we doing it this way for career military officers, more specifically, and in many cases for senior NCOs as well? This really goes back to a little bit of my own personal story of when I got out of the military 15 years ago. I didn't know what to do. I ended up in the financial planning world and I was helping people save for their retirement. For years and years, I was doing all the things that were on the checklist of what do you do to help people save for their future. They call it financial planning, financial advice, investment advice, whatever it is. It always came down to this thing called retirement, which was many, many years down the road. And it didn't ever really matter what it is we talked about or what individual goals were. Nobody was really paying attention because if we're honest, the firm was telling me to go out and get more clients. And the individual who's now outsourced their financial advice isn't really paying attention either. They're more focused on their career. And unfortunately, this is how the whole industry works. And the idea is to just get more people's assets managed so that folks can charge their fees. After a few years, I did not feel comfortable with this approach. I realized, you know what, it's got to exist. There's only so many games in town. And for the majority of military folks, regardless of flaws of that system, it's still giving them guidance and hope to get started and to get more control of preparing for their post military life and ultimately for their retirement. But here's the problem I ran into situation. I'll tell a little story here about who I referred to as my favorite client at the time when I was in the old school financial planning model of saving for goals 20, 30 years from now. My favorite client, to protect the innocent, we'll call him Lieutenant Colonel Gilbert. Lieutenant Colonel Gilbert was around like 39, 40 years old, preparing to retire out of the military, and had actually done things a little bit more aggressively than most when it came for saving for their future. Lieutenant Colonel Gilbert had like $500,000 saved up in Roth thrift savings plan, traditional thrift savings plan, and then another Roth IRA between him and his spouse. And so around $500,000 put him well above his peers when it came for saving and investing for the future. But here's the problem. He didn't want to get out of the military and go do another job. In fact, he was in a situation where he wanted to spend his money to take some time for him and his wife and his kids to travel to Africa and spend time working with nonprofits. It was very passionate of theirs when they were stationed overseas. They would travel down there when they had time. They wanted to do more of it. And so they came to me and said, Scott, could we use some of our retirement money, some of the thrift savings plan money to fund this lifestyle for a while? And I actually said, yes. I said, yes, you should totally do that because I myself recognize that the advice I was being told to give people, make sure you budget and save for retirement, put all your money away in the long-term retirement plans first. It was not advice I was taking for myself because I wanted more flexibility. I wanted more control for my own personal plan. But I justified it as well. I'm independent, self-employed. I'm not on the fixed income mindset. What I discovered with talking with Lieutenant Colonel Gilbert, or the outcome of this situation was my advice in saying, yes, you should totally use the money resulted in me getting fired by Lieutenant Colonel Gilbert because he went back and talked to his friends and called his dad's financial advisor. And they said, no, of course, you shouldn't touch your retirement account. You'll be penalized. You're only 40, which is true. So technically, I was giving bad financial advice if you're just following it to a T. But that's why I threw my hands up. I said, "Hey, what is the point of the money? If we've been told, especially for these career military officers, have been told to save for retirement, could it be we've been strategizing for the wrong retirement, and instead we should have been planning for this retirement, the one where we're in our 40s or even early 50s still if we're retiring as a full bird colonel or a captain. So there's still plenty of time left, but the world's changed. Maybe we don't already have these ideas laid out where we want to go take our family on a trip for a year or two to take some time off. If you don't have those things laid out yet, do you want a better strategy to give yourself more flexibility to get there? That's what I discovered, really. We're dealing with a improper theory that doesn't fit with modern times. And that theory is what I call retirement theory. It's just old methodology meant for the fixed income mindset, meant for the work till 65 only approach, where we could upgrade with what I'll introduce in other videos as income theory and how we implement that. And of course, we'll talk more about what are the issues with retirement theory is simply that, hey, for you as a career military officer, retiring in your 40s, 50s, you got a completely different situation than one, what you've been planning and saving for, most likely, because that plan was based on retirement theory. What is retirement theory? 30 years, goals based. And of course, maximizing benefits. That's what retirement theory is always based around. Keeps everything in a nice, tidy box. As long as you follow the rules, you'll get your little tax benefit rewards once you hit certain ages, and then you can touch your money. Income theory states, hey, maybe we should be planning more in the 3-year time frame. That's where we're going to have the impact, especially as you're going through your military retirement right now. Impact is now. Decisions are now. Talking about systems instead of goals. That gives you a lot more leeway to adjust. And ultimately, talking about privatization, which means protection and profit of your time, talent, and treasure so that you can maximize all your resources instead of just sitting around waiting for the benefits. Now, the problem with retirement theory and retirement planning as a primary focus, regardless of whether it's military related or otherwise, is that it's requiring everything to be decision based on long time frames with a lot of variables that you have no control over. So basically it just causes decision stress when you're in shortened time frames. So right at military retirement, you've got to figure out your VA disability. How do you actually out process for the military? New job? What's my financial strategy? Insurance? All these things we'll hit on more inside other videos, but that's what this is really all about. It's not about how much money you have or where the money's come from or what your LinkedIn profile says, or if your resume gets you paid what you're worth. It's about decisions. How do you have the resources, the competence, the confidence to make decisions? Maybe you don't need the income you thought you need, and so that frees up decisions. Maybe you don't need to be in a location you thought you need to be. All these things are financially related. At the end of the day, there's going to be a financial impact. That's the centerpiece of your decisions. But where we get stuck is in thinking about the benefits in what we think at US Vet Wealth. There's a lot of ways to avoid opportunity costs, increase the odds of ultimately being better than just benefits. Better than benefits is our theme so that you can stop following orders when you get the financial resources for it, when you don't want to do something anymore, you want to start your own thing. That's what whatever financial independence or retirement really means. Is that, hey, you've retired from the military. Now it's time to create your own orders and then make an impact again when the time is right. But the biggest question you have, and the reason you found us here, is because you're looking for alternative solutions because you're already there. You're already saying, all right, I don't want to be with the folks that are cautious and just asking their friends in Facebook groups to say, hey, what'd you do last year, right? No, you want to make confident decisions. And if you're right at your military retirement, the first question you need answered, of course, is the survivor benefit plan. And then likely you're wondering about, all right, what do I do about my retirement accounts? And if you're already out of the military, you're thinking about what is my post-military strategy so that I can actually use my money. Am I getting into alternative investments like real estate investment, small business franchise, private equity? You're now in a high income situation. Even if you're working at a corporation, you're getting your post-military income, you're getting your VA disability. The strategy can and should be different for high income and high net worth individuals. So whether you're there yet or you're planning to be there, here at your military retirement is the opportunity for you to go from the old retirement theory to the new income theory approach to give you a lot more flexibility and control over how you're managing your assets, how you build your own war chest to protect your time, protect your treasure, and really tie your talents into how you want to enjoy the rest of your post-military life when you're out of uniform and figured out your identity. So I look forward to speaking with you so much more about some of these new ideas and philosophies and how we implement them. After speaking with hundreds and hundreds of career military families and spouses about these various decisions that happen in typically this 3-year time frame, when they're really starting to hone in and saying, okay, there are some certain things I need to figure out. Everybody's priority is different. When you're going through the retirement briefings and various other post-military resources, you're probably getting a this is what you should do approach. And if you found us, you're looking for what are some of the options? What are some of the things I should be thinking about and prioritizing to basically increase the probability of your return on investment? You position yourself for it by serving and earning the pension. So we want to show you how to be better than just your benefits. Thanks again for watching this video. If you'd like to see more lessons such as this and a number of articles on topics around survivor benefit plan, thrift savings plan, I'd like to invite you to our new military retirement blueprint. You can get access in the link below, and we'll see you inside the new port.